Hi everyone, you're going to be giving the aimsweb here in a couple weeks, and I just wanted to give you a heads up on how to score it because I know that's not something you've done before. So just real quick, it is pretty easy to score. Answers are either correct or incorrect, so you don't have to look for any work that was shown, you don't have to work for partially completed problems. It's either correct or incorrect. Items are arranged on the test to make sure that kids aren't just skipping around to the easiest problem. Here's the only part that gets a little tricky with the aimsweb, and that is that each item has a weighted value. So it's not just each item is worth 1 point. The items that are the least difficult are 1 point, medium 2, and most difficult 3. So just give you a heads up there. After you're done testing kids, you'll use a corresponding answer key that I'll show you to score it. A student's answer key then, a student's answer is compared to the correct answer on the answer key. And what you're going to do, if this is what you're going to see, is you're going to get an answer key like this that goes with the probe that you gave, and you can notice that there's a number, and then this is the correct answer that you're looking for. You do not have to worry about whether it's 1 or 2 or 3 points. All you simply are doing is going through, and if the student got it correct, you circle a 1. If a student got it incorrect, you circle 0. And then when you're all done with both columns, you add those up into 2 subtotals and then a final total at the bottom. So it's pretty self-explanatory that way. It does help you to kind of get a feel for, are your kids missing the more challenging problems, or are they missing the easier problems, which helps a little bit. Now there's just a few things that obviously get a little tricky with math, and that is there's no partial credit scoring, so you can see like this one is complete, they started it but didn't finish it. That's incorrect. You would mark that wrong. Anything, even if it's correct, if the kid crossed it out, even if it is correct, that is incorrect, and so you would put a slash through that one, or you would circle 0 on the sheet. So again, same, if they have crossed it out, but in the answer blank that is there, they've listed the correct answer, that is correct. If you can't read it, obviously you can't give points for it, but if you can get the idea, most of us as teachers are pretty good at reading terrible handwriting, so if you can, pretty much make it out, obviously you can tell if it's right or wrong. If the response has a reversed number, I don't know how, this probably won't happen in high school, but if for some reason they wrote the 3 the wrong way, but it makes sense that you can kind of see that they meant 13, you can give them points for it. However, if it's a 6 or a 9, that is incorrect, that they rotated. Obviously, sometimes on the MComp, for example, if you look at number 10 here, number 10 on the answer key is 1/2. If the student writes 0.5, that is correct, even if it's not the exact one that they said. So, that is, I guess I would consider that correct. However, you as a department might decide how you want to score those based on your professional judgment. If it's important to you that kids understand, to leave it as a fraction, you might want to tell them that before they take the test. Just tell them like anything that's in fraction form needs to stay in fraction form. So just kind of use your best judgment on that, but my best advice would be to make sure it's consistent. So in your department, have a consistent policy on that. Another issue you might see are things like long division, where kids might put 6 and then an R. So the answer key will give you different options, and obviously as long as the student has put in one of those options, you can mark it correct. So just know that lowest terms can obviously be interchanged with reduce. So when you might want to tell students, if they see the instruction lowest terms, it means the same thing as reduce, or whatever you typically tell your kids, what verbiage you use. Not sure if you'll run into this issue or not, but you can see that the student did come up with the correct answer, but then they thought they needed to simplify. So this would be a 0, because even though they've listed the right answer, the final answer is incorrect. Sometimes what they want will be requested, so they'll say write it in lowest terms, or write it as a mixed number, and so in that case, if the directions are very specific in what they're asking kids to write, then obviously the answer needs to be more specific. Sometimes though, it might just say write it in lowest terms, and so then you can, if they've written it correctly as an improper fraction, but the answer key is showing you a mixed number, that's totally fine as long if the directions have not been specific. Again, I don't think you're going to run into this, but if for some reason you do notice that these do not have dollar signs on them, but sometimes the kids, whatever reason, responded with dollar signs, and so just know that here the first answer would be correct because they have included the idea of place value, but in the second one, number 7, they have not included place value, and so it's really not showing that understanding of place value, which is why they would give it a 0. So really, here's what we're looking at. Does the student's response match the answer, alternate answers? Does the student answer represent an alternate correct answer that is not provided in the answer key? And finally, does the answer reflect an understanding of what the question is asking them to do? Those are kind of your 3 big ones. And then just as one more reminder, this is what you're going to see. You're going to get an answer key that looks like this. And then all you would need to do is go through the student's test. If it's easy for you, you can mark them right or wrong on the actual student test first and then come over and score this way. Or you can just, as you go through, score right on this answer key, whatever seems to work best for you. So hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know.